Okay, so I'm going to go through how to create a lead magnet, what you need to include in it and everything, all the bits and pieces to make sure that it's really captivating. And then after that, I am open to any questions that you have about how to set it up, where to store it, anything like that. And then we can just have some questions and answers after, if that's okay. Amazing. So let's start. Come on. There we go. So I'm Nina. I'm your tech biz bestie, and my aim is basically to simplify tech. I know it can be really daunting and things, you hear so many words and things that you should be doing, but I want to make it easy for you so you can just work your business in the easiest possible way, basically. Jen, I can't see any of the chat, so if there's any questions, can you just let me know, please? Thank you. So basically, I love email marketing. I think it's brilliant. I love a good Insta filter. I'm there for it, totally there for it when I'm tired. But the only problem is with Insta, Facebook, and now Threads, they're not ours. We're kind of on borrowed land. So if for whatever reason your account got hacked, blocked, or whatever, you've literally lost all those followers and you've lost all those potential customers. Whereas your email list, it's yours. You can move that list to any provider you want. So it's yours. You've got permission of people to contact them, so you can do what you want with it. I also love drinking coffee when it's hot because I've got a small child and that very rarely happens. Okay, so when it comes to creating your lead magnet, I know that it's so easy to just like see what everyone else is doing, create a quick checklist or create something really quickly. But the best way and the easiest way to give it longevity is to really drill down and go into it properly. So things like I've gone on too quickly. I'm going to go back a slide. I knew this would happen. Right, first of all, before you even do any of this, you need to think about your reason for creating this lead magnet. So what is your reason for creating it? Is it lead generation? So are you going to have like an evergreen lead magnet that's out there that you just pop on your website or your Linktree or something so people can just sign up and get it? Or if you're service-based, are you using it to create a lead up to a membership, a course, a service, something that you're launching? In which case they're going to be slightly different. So your course, membership, any service that you're having, it'll be tailored along that way. So for example, I've got two clients that I work with. One is a mindset coach. Now her evergreen lead magnet is 3 tips on mindset. So she puts that out all the time. So it increases her audience, brings people into her world, and the actionable tips, it's an evergreen one, so she can have it. I've got another client who's a wedding cake maker who has a membership. Now her lead magnet at times is a masterclass which shows how she teaches, then she opens the door to the membership. So it's thinking about what your reasons are for creating this lead magnet. If you're creating your lead magnet and getting people onto your list, what is your main aim? And then you can go on to these steps. Sorry about that waffle. So you need to, first things first, identifying your target audience. So while you're doing this and you're thinking about those 2 things, you really want to think about who you want to draw in. So you need to think about what problem you're solving. So think about the specific problem that your product or service helps to solve and who's likely to find this problem. So this can help you with identifying your target audience. And also look at your current customers, people, your current clients, people that you work with. That can be a good indication of who is in your world and who wants to be in your world when you create these. And then market research. Things like just whacking a poll on your Instagram stories or asking questions. You don't have to put it out there and get on a focus group call. You can just make subtle questions in your social posts, things like that, to draw out the information to make sure you're targeting the right people. And then make sure you choose a topic that resonates with your audience, not something that you like, but something that your audience is going to like. And it makes it easier to like attract the right people to it if it's something that they want. So things like offering quick wins, they're great for showing your expertise, but also giving your audience a nice quick win and something simple they can use and actionable. And don't forget to share how fantastic you are. You know far more than you think you do. And you need to show that. You need to show your audience how fantastic you are and show like how brilliant and what you are at what you do. It's really easy to think, oh, someone can Google that. Someone can just jump on YouTube and do that. But you're showing it in a way that shows how amazing you are. And it'll be in a way that resonates with your audience. Whereas like someone that puts like 4 million playlists on YouTube is not going to resonate with your audience the way that you do. So don't forget that you are fantastic and you need to show that in your lead magnets. I'm very passionate about that because it took me like 3 years to get my lead magnet out. So I know how hard it is for you all like to just think that you've got it, but you are brilliant and you do know your stuff.
Nina, I'm intrigued now. What's your lead magnet called?
It's really catchy. The lead magnet checklist. So basically it says what it does on the tin.
That's very clever.
I could create like what I find hard with mine is the word lead magnet. It's an awkward word. So rather than creating something that was out of here at the box and people didn't know, I created just something simple so people knew what it was. And that's the thing, it's talking directly to people.
To find out really clever. Love that.
Which brings me nicely on to create a compelling title. The world is busy. We are so crazy busy. Everyone's busy. And if you have something that is really long, doesn't really resonate with your audience, people are just going to bypass it. They're so busy, they'll just scroll past it or just not. So you really need to think of a short, sharp, impactful title. So keep it clear and concise. Like mine isn't like groundbreaking, but people know what they're getting. They know that they're getting a checklist to help them build their lead magnet, which is what it is. And also try and use action orientated language because it kind of helps people know what they're getting. So get, learn, discover, achieve. So like learn 5 tips to clear your inbox because everyone wants an empty inbox. Things like that, things that people would want and would want to use. And again, make it specific. I'll keep harping on about this, but because people are so busy, they just want to know what they're getting. If they're getting 5 tips, they want to know that they're getting 5 tips. If they're getting 20 tips, it might turn them off, so they won't download it. It's got to be tailored to your audience and tailored to what would help them and what they'd want to learn. And then deciding on the format. So there are so many formats you can have. You can have a lot of people, when they think of like the PDF downloads. So it's either an ebook, a guide, a checklist, something like that. And they are brilliant in PDF form because you can print them out. So if you've got, I don't know, I was talking to someone the other day who does packing, like wardrobe packing for holidays, which is just genius, and I'd love someone to come and do that for me. But she has a checklist of things to make it easier. So it's something you print off, it's actionable and you'd use, but it wouldn't be right in an ebook. So really think about the format that you're putting things in to make it so that it's usable. And think about how your audience learns. So for example, I have a client that has a bit like this, networking session every month that's free. She puts it out to her audience. She gets people on her list that way. And it's just an easy way for her to build a list, easy way for her to grow a network and get to know, so people can get to know her because she's a business coach and bring people into her world. it's slightly different. I've got other clients that do monthly or bi-monthly masterclasses. So that's like 45 minutes where they come on, they get people into their world on the masterclass on similar topics, but it's what people want to know. So it's not always about creating PDFs or downloads. There's lots of different things. My mindset coach that has that masterclass, it's like 10-15 minutes, her evergreen one. It's not a long one. It's not like a 45-minute one that someone's got to spend time looking for. It's a actionable one. They can watch it, learn it, and take those tips away. Then I've
got a question on that. Sorry, is that pre-recorded or is that a live masterclass?
So the monthly one that they do is live, so people can go on and ask questions, and then the pre-recorded one is a evergreen one. So it's like a 10-15 minute pre-recorded one that's just there for everyone to watch whenever they download it.
Right, cool, thank you.
And then another client I have has a meditation, which is an audio. So there's so many different ways you can create your lead magnets that aren't just the standard PDF downloads. Any questions? Amazing. And then think about your visuals as well, because when it comes to anything, it's got to be like, keep it on brand, keep it nice and bright and colourful, so that it keeps people attracted. So for example, if you do have an ebook, which lots of people do because that's how their content is best set out, break it up. Just instead of like pages of text, just put a few images in and break it up so it's easier to read, easier to use, and just makes it a nicer experience when you're using it. And then make sure it's high quality content. So you want to put your best out there because you're showing how amazing you are, how fantastic you are. So you really want to put the best out there. So start with a hook. You want to really capture the attention of your ideal client so that they want to read it, they want to carry on. Provide value. The best way you can provide value is by something actionable, something that they can use, something that they're going to be coming to you for the questions of. So give them a little bit of information so they can go away and do it. I know it's so easy to want to over deliver, isn't it? It's going to be so easy for us to want to just show how fantastic we are, but you don't want to overwhelm them either. There's that fine balance between being brilliant and showing them and overwhelming, and you want to be actionable and showing them tips. So if you've got tips, like 5 tips is great, 10 tips, but like if any more than that, then you're going into the overwhelm, and they're likely not to use you, gosh, I can't get my words out. They're likely not to use your lead magnet because it's too overwhelming. Whereas some tips that they can do, they can just go straight away and do and use, they will use, and they'll come back to it because they know it's easy and it's something that they can do. Always remember, people are busy, so they want stuff they can just pick up and run with. Concise and to the point. So don't use, like in our industries, there's acronyms that are thrown around, aren't there? Don't use those, because if they're new to your world, they might not know what they mean. So try and avoid like industry jargon, for want of a better word, and acronyms, and just keep it to the point so they can read it, use it, and understand it really well. Include visuals in it because it breaks it up and it makes it such a nicer experience when people are using it. So use high quality images because it might look great on screen, but don't forget some people are going to be printing it off. So you want it to look good in print as well. You want it to just look, you don't want to lose the quality. Infographics are great. So if you have a presentation or you're showing something that has a amount of data, so for this what's the word I'm looking for, stylist I was talking to the other day, it was like the percentage of people that have clothes in their wardrobe that they've never worn and wear all the time. that's great in an infographic, because it just breaks it up, shows you what it is, rather than the descriptive text saying that there's a percentage that wear it, percentage that don't. It just makes it a nicer experience. If you're going to use stock photographs, like, there are some gorgeous flat lays about, but everyone seems to use the same. So if you do use something like that, try and find something that someone else hasn't done, because it'll make you stand out. It'll make people remember you, because it's a different image. It's not the same as everyone else uses. And then screenshots. So if you're creating like a how-to guide, so if I was creating a how-to guide on how to use MailerLite, I could put screenshots in that would show you how to use it, which is a lot better than me saying, right, you want to click on the top right hand corner, scroll down. If I show you screenshots of how to do it, then you can do it along with me, and you know that you're doing it right, and it just reinforces you and your confidence that you're, as the client, that you're doing it right. So think about how you present your data or your images to make it easy for your ideal client to use. And then make it easy to consume. I'll say this a million times, but everyone's busy. Everyone is so busy, like, especially like now, we're in the lead up to summer holidays, aren't we? Everyone's thinking about the holidays. It's a crazy time. So you need to keep it short, to the point. Don't include information that's going to overwhelm your audience. Make sure that they can use it. Clear and simple language. You want your audience to use it, so you need to make it as simple as you can for them. And then actionable tips or steps, so things that they can really go out and use. So if you were a sleep consultant, it would be like 5 tips to help your child sleep. Things that like you can use that day would be great for them to use. And then include a call to action at the end. That's really important. You need to be telling your audience what the next step is. So if it is to grow your audience, and that's your main aim of this lead magnet, it would be click here to join my weekly newsletter, or if you've got the name for the weekly newsletter, like click here to join my top tip Tuesday, something like that. Or click here to book a call and see how we can work together. And then if you are using it for like a course program, click here to find out more information, which could take you to your sales page or anything else that you've got set up that would encourage people to take that next step in joining your course or program. Use friendly language. No one really likes a salesy person, so make it just friendly in your tone, but also be specific so they know what they're doing. They know that that's the next step they need to take. So at the end of your like PDF, it would be there as a link saying click here. At the end of your masterclass, sorry, at the end of your masterclass, it would be there at the end showing them what they need to do, and make it stand out so it's obvious, like bright colours, a box, a separate screen if it's a masterclass, something like that, so they can do it. Make it like visually different so they can see what they're doing. And then at the end of it, you want to be promoting your lead magnet. You don't want it sitting there in your Google Drive doing nothing. You want to be promoting it and putting it out there so everyone can use it. So you can share it on your social media. If you have a website, you can create pop-ups for it. You can put it in your footer. You can have a whole page for it on your website so people can sign up and show them how to do it. If you blog, you can always reference it in your blog so people can see it, and you're including it in something so you've got their actionable tip within the blog. A client of mine adds it to their email signature because they've got an evergreen one, so it's just at the bottom, so everyone that gets an email off them gets that. And then obviously just talk about it, share it, tell people about it, because it's no good just sitting there. You worked really hard on it and it's just sitting there not doing anything for you. And that's my talk on lead magnets. But I know that a lot of you, I'm going to start sharing now. A lot of you might be stuck on the tech bit of it. So if you've got any questions on the tech bit, setting it up or anything like that, then I will answer those.
I've got a question, Nina. So if, just say you did that like video option where it was like an evergreen video.
Yeah.
I've got like mailer light set up and stuff like that. Where would I best like host the video? Would I just use like a private YouTube or something like that, or how would I like send it to the client each time?
So probably the easiest place would just put it as unlisted on YouTube, and then get a link for it.
Yeah.
In MailerLite as well, you can create a video block, so you can input it into your email as well.
That's quite simple then. Okay.
Yeah, so it's always there. So when people have your email, they don't even have to click out of it. They can watch it within the email.
And would you use that YouTube and do the same if you were like then selling on to an actual course? It was a video course.
It depends. So there's lots of places you can host. So if you host it on YouTube, there's lots of different memberships. I mean, membership type sites that you can use that host it on YouTube, but store it on there so it's easy for people to access.
Right.
So use something like system.io. So I have my courses on there, and you build up the courses, and you can either directly upload it to that system, or you can use the YouTube link.
Right. What was that called?
System.io.
I'll write it down. Thank you.
It's really good beginner one. I really rate it for just ease of use and just what you can do with it.
Nicola's just said, Nicola's also does lots of tech stuff, and I use searchy.io, and you can host your videos on there so you don't get YouTube ads, etc. And then you can create a course with your videos. Okay, thank you. Charlotte's got a question about a rather loud child. Go for it, Charlotte, we don't mind.
I just wanted to warn before I unmute in case he starts screaming. My question is about, so if you get people's email addresses either through the lead magnet, or I've got people that have booked me, so I've got like a contact list.
Yeah.
I find it really hard to understand the GDPR rules about what I can do with people's email addresses. And I wondered, do you, any way you can put it simply about what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do? Have I just misunderstood it all and you're allowed to do it? I just don't really understand it.
It's a minefield. It's a minefield. So these email addresses that you've got, have you had permission off them to email them?
So I've had permission to email them based on the service that I'm a photographer. So I have to email them their galleries and their contracts and everything. So I've got permission for that, but I haven't got anywhere in my contract that says I can send you emails all the time about like advertising and stuff like that. So can I send them emails about things like promotions, or am I not allowed to because they haven't consented to that?
It's really tricky. What I would probably do is, if you signed up and started something like MailerLite or something, I would probably email them all and ask them permission to sign up to your list.
Mm-hmm. So I need to create a separate mailing list. This is what I'm getting confused about.
Yeah, so if you have a separate, if you have a MailerLite account or something, MailChimp, whatever, I use MailerLite, that's why I use it. You have to, there's a box that they have to tick to say that you permissions. So that's the way around it I would suggest you do, because it means if it's not in your contract, or just edit your contract to say.
Yeah,
this is where I've been reading the information, because it needs to be separate, and I don't have I'd have to send them 2 contracts to get them to then sign up to the mailing list, which I could do. But how does it work with lead magnets then? Because if you're giving away something for free, you then need them to sign up to a mailing list to be able to use that
Well,
lead?
what happens is the premise is you start with a landing page, which just shows which you talk about how great your lead magnet is. And on your landing page, you have a sign up box.
Yeah.
And then that sign up box will trigger the email that will give them the lead magnet.
So what language do you use to make sure that it's kind of meeting everything? Is it?
It's all, if you use something like, if you use an
Oh,
email,
it does it automatically.
it'll do it automatically. Yeah. So there's a bit at the bottom you can say by sign MailerLite has it's editable, and it says you can either have the tick box or leave it as it is, and it says by signing up, like, you will get emails from me. And the thing is, when you get an email, one of these platforms, you'll have noticed it because it always has an unsubscribe link at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to do, whereas your email that you send from you won't have that.
Yeah.
So it gives people the option to unsubscribe and not be on that mailing list, whereas if you send it as you do, it's that option's obviously not there because it's your email.
And is there a free website that you can sign up to do that?
MailerLite.
Is it MailerLite?
Yeah, I'll give
LITE.
Yeah.
It's great and it's free. I really like it as well.
Anything free is like what I need right now.
It's free, but it's absolutely brilliant. I've got loads of clients on it, and I've got quite a few on the paid version of it as well. Just because it's free, it doesn't mean that it's not great. It really is useful. A really good tool.
Charlotte, Nicola's also commented in the chat and said that add a link that says, so email your clients currently, add a link that says if you want to hear the latest news and offers, sign up here. And then that link could link to a separate, simple sign up form in MailerLite, get them onto your email list. So yeah, same kind of.
Yes, thank you. It's so helpful.
Does anyone have any more questions? You can be, are you confused? Do you want to break it down a bit more? People have mailing lists. Are you thinking, like, some of you might be thinking, oh my God, like this is mega, like, use this opportunity to pick Nina's brain.
It does, when you email, like, don't think you have to be emailing like every week. I always say, if you're starting out, start with a frequency that you can do. So if I have one client that does once a month, they do like a once a month roundup of what's happening, what's been going on, because there's nothing worse than getting people on your list, not emailing them, and then just turning into really salesy and spammy when it's time to sell something. So even if you just email once a month or something, just to keep that conversation flowing and remind people that you're there, because that's what you need to be doing. Just people are on your list, so you need to be reminding them why they're on your list. Maria?
Oh yeah, I'm probably guilty of that actually, because I've got quite a small mailing list, but I'm really bad at regular emailing. And would you suggest, what would you suggest in that case? As you said, kind of a roundup or once a month, or anything? I always think about kind of email funnels, but I guess they're specifically aimed at selling something, aren't they?
Yes, so your funnel is more direct, isn't it? Because you're bringing people into your audience, but now they're here, it's once they're in your audience, it's your time to nurture them. So it's about sharing what's been going on, tips that can help them. I mean, obviously sell, because as someone said the other day, and it was so true, people are on your list and they know you're going to sell to them.
Yeah.
They haven't joined your list just to have like stories from your Sunday stories. People are on your list because they're interested. Yeah, they're interested in what you've got to offer, so they expect you to sell to them. But obviously it's just getting that balance right. So if you can do once a month, then yes. So I've got one of my clients is a menstrual cycle instructor. So every month she sends an email out about something around that topic, but it's good for her. Monthly's good. And then I've got another one that sends one out like every other week. So one's hints and tips. that she sends out. It's like midweek, and then end of the month, it's like an end of a month roundup and like stuff she's been working with clients. So it shows like what she can do, what she's done.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I probably should start something like that and schedule it regularly, because for me it's like, okay, what have I got going on? Oh, I better email everyone now, and it's very kind of reactive rather than planning in advance. But I feel like I've got, so I use GoDaddy website and their email system as well, which is incorporated within that. So I think that works quite well, and it's all GDPR compliant there, because it's got all the stuff that is needed, and you can only add your members if they have obviously consented. And I've got a lead magnet through the website as well, which I'm able to create myself on there. So it's quite comprehensive. But it is then about regular promotion of those things as well. And I sometimes feel like I've got quite a few, and then it's probably, again, I think it's about strategically thinking what it's kind of planning it out into your marketing program and so on, rather than just
and I think I think like it's fine if you do them ad hoc, but as long as it's like not months between like 5 in a row sort of thing. So like you say, it is part of your marketing plan that you think about when you're going to send them, and you make sure like the consistency is kind of there, like every 2 to 3 weeks, something like that, rather than months, and then you don't hear anything until like you've got a group program, and then you email them every other day. It's just getting that balance. Like, it is part of your marketing plan, but you can always repurpose stuff, so stuff that you put in your newsletter can then be used in your socials. It's been clever with your marketing and like not reinventing the wheel each time you do it.
Or the other way around, would you say? Because I probably post on social, and then I could probably pack it all into a newsletter. Cool. Okay,
that's your inspiration, isn't it? So it's either or. Like, you either send out a newsletter and chop it up, or you look at your socials and get something from your socials to put into a newsletter. Don't forget, people want to hear about what you've been doing as well. So it's like it's like the know, like and trust factor. So it's sharing you as well.
I was going to say, something I've been doing, which is a really quick way, because I only started regularly emailing once a week about 6 weeks ago, and I've literally trailed back through my Instagram from the last few years and pick out posts that I've previously written on Instagram but were ages ago, when it's like a helpful post about something, cut and paste it, fiddle with it a little bit, and then make it into an email. It takes me about 10 minutes, and so I've got lots of little blogs from the past which no one will remember I've even written, if that's any use to anybody. Just trailing back through things, old content, and repurposing it has helped. But sorry, I know I'm looking in the wrong place. It's very helpful.
But it's been smart, and you doing things like that, because those social posts resonated, and people read it and people liked it. And like you say, people won't remember because the algorithm's like crazy. Like, if you blink, you've lost like 7 posts that you've seen. So people aren't going to remember stuff from 2 years ago. And even if they did, if they found it helpful then, they're going to find it helpful now. Everyone likes a reminder. And the great thing about your emails as well, I can harp about this phone. I'll be with you. Sorry, Gemma, I will come back. And the great thing about your emails is like it's targeted for those people. So like your socials, I'll have like what is it, like 0.0 to 2 second span, whereas your emails land in your box. So if you send one, people don't read it until they read it, so they're not going to miss it, they're not going to lose it. Like, that stuff is always going to be there for those people to read, because they've opted in to hear from you, so they want to hear from you. So if you send it, like, you've all got your favorite emails, you get someone, haven't you, like you're like, oh, that's an email, I'll read it. So people sign up to your list, so you're like that to some people, to most of the people that are on your list. Gemma, sorry.
Oh, I haven't got a mailing list because I'm with Etsy. I haven't got a clue what I can do.
You can create one on something like MailerLite.
Okay.
When you send out your thank you emails,
you
can always put a link at the bottom.
Fab.
So like Nicola said with Charlotte, to create a sign up here to receive updates, sign up
Okay.
here to receive things that are happening. Through Etsy, I suppose you have all your special discount codes already set up, don't you?
I'm not long started out, so I haven't got anything really set up.
So for your lead magnet, for want of a better
Yeah.
word, always offer them a discount code
Okay.
when they sign up, and then that would be, once they sign up, then the email would come through. Once the email comes through, there'd be a code on there.
Okay.
So that's what a lot of product businesses I know do, is their email, is
Okay.
like 10% off of
Yeah.
next purchase or something like that. So
Brilliant.
people sign up that way.
Okay.
You can do exactly the same. So when you've got new stock, new products or whatever, you can always share it. And behind the scenes are great for product businesses. People want to see what do you do? Sorry.
Make small people clothes like this.
Oh,
Oh, you
cute.
can't see it. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing on this. There we go. So they're camper vanny ones. I've just launched my summer stuff, so I've probably just missed the missed something that I could have done.
No, you can still do it, and just show the behind the scenes of how you make it as well. People love to
Okay.
know. Product businesses, people love to know how they're made, especially by small business.
Okay.
Like people know like how things are mass produced, but small businesses, and
Literally.
things like that, people love to know.
It's all here. Just an overlocker.
Sharing things like that, like little videos on your, or like just
Okay.
how you made, what you're making, things like that. People love to know, do things like
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
I mean, you could do like a time-lapse video if you've got like a tripod for your phone, and just do a time-lapse video of you doing something, or just put it on something where it can see you and do a time-lapse. People would love that.
Yeah, because it's the person behind the brand, and people love to know that. People love to know what goes into it, how you do it, what you do, especially like product businesses. It's great for that because people are nosy and they love to see things like that. Any more questions?
I've got a question if nobody else has. I'd like to pick your brain. So I've got a lead magnet on my website, which is 7 mindset tips for starting and scaling your business. I'm trying to remember it. That's something that I created ages ago, and it's been sitting there for ages. I don't really do much with it. I get the odd download, which is great. I'm thinking, well, I am creating a new one at the moment. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on the name. Well, not even the name, just on what it is. So I'm a business coach, but I focus on strategy, which is kind of my point of difference, I guess. And I want to create something that's like, I've called it Strategy Made Simple. This is really boring, but I've called it my monthly strategy review routine for entrepreneurs. I want to give people something that they almost like need to have on their desk, and it's like a checklist for every month. They start the month, they're like, right, bang, 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 bang. Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? Does that sound good, or is that too much work for people? Is that like never going to happen? I don't know.
Is it something that I could download, look at and go, right, I could do this?
I think so, because I want it to be stuff like, okay, what's your revenue goal for this month? What was the best thing that you learned last month? What's like a little bit of reflection, a little bit of like forward planning.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or you could maybe create 2 from that. So
Yeah.
like your forecasting month, and then like maybe looking back at your last month could maybe be like more journal prompts.
Yeah.
Or something. Then you could break it up into, then you've got 2 different audiences, the ones that like the reflective ones, people, and then the forward thinking ones, because some people
Strategic. Yeah. Yeah. I was also wrote down while you were talking my 10 secrets of strategy, and I was like, is that more exciting? That would be less of a like you've got to do the work. It would be more of a like, here's 10 things for you to think about. But that sounds a bit sexier, I think.
yeah,
I don't know.
it's got to, I always think it's got to be something people would pick up and use.
Yeah.
Like you get it and go, oh yeah, this is what I'll like. For me, when I always go back to when Alfie was in the throes of not sleeping. If someone had said to me, here's 5 tips to help your kids sleep, I'd be like, I'll snatch your hand off of that.
Yeah.
That's what I need right
I
now.
find it really easy to think about for other people's businesses, but for my own, it's really hard.
Then could you do a poll on like either LinkedIn or Instagram?
That's
or
a good
whatever?
idea.
Just put the 2 options and see what people go for.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Great idea. Thank you.
Sarah.
Sorry, I'm on my phone because my kids had locked me out of my iPad, so I couldn't, which is why I keep turning my video off, because I just keep having to put my phone down because I don't want to keep holding it in my hand. And I've never done Zoom on my phone before, so I can't find any of
Not
the
as easy, is
buttons.
it?
Don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, so that's the reason what my video keeps turning on and off. Anyway, so I have a few different downloads on my website. I run baby and toddler classes. So my downloads are like 5 ways to engage your children in books and how to make up stories for your children. And they are just, I think, and my question basically is, are they lead magnets? Because they link to MailerLite, so that, you know, people have to put their email address in order to receive the PDF. So I guess that they are that class as a lead magnet. So a bit like Jen, then it just sits there. I don't do anything. I've just made them. I've put them on there because at some point somebody told me that was a good idea, and I've done it and I've made them. But I don't really know how to enhance them and make them, you know, get more out of them, if you like.
People download them.
Do you know what? I'm not even really sure, because I don't know in the way that it's set up. How do you know if that?
If someone set it up for you, then they even MailerLite.
Yeah, I've set it up, but how I've set it up and what I do, I
You
just
can set it up for that form for a group. So if you created a group for each lead magnet, then you'd see in the group how many have downloaded it.
Yes, yeah, I think there's the odd one, but not. I'm not getting major like downloads.
Do you
from them.
promote it?
No. So how do I promote it? What do I do? Tell people to go onto my website in order to download it?
On socials on your website is easy to find.
It's in under parents, and then it's like a tab that's free downloads. So maybe not that easy to find. No.
So you need to make it easy. So pick one of them. I'd pick one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get a lot of traffic through your website?
Yes and no. Hard again. I don't really know.
So I would pick one of them, one that you think is probably the most applicable,